Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to week 3, which means we're over halfway through the class. All right, I've graded week 2 stuff. So we're going to start by talking about the announcements. I've graded week 2 stuff. Please review the feedback. Take the chance to resubmit. Gives you practice. Gives you practice. It gives you a chance for a higher grade. All right, so what to expect in week 3 is what we're going to be covering today. All right, so week 3. Discuss why the web designer needs to design with websites with mobile first in mind. Implement media queries to adjust the website's display for mobile devices, and identify commonly used CSS tags for media queries. This week, you'll learn about mobile first, and we'll add the needed information media queries to make your website responsible for mobile devices. In addition, you'll discuss why web designers should design for mobile first. You'll finish this week with a quiz about what you've learned about the media queries. The assignment. Over the next 2 weeks, we will be adding one of the most important techniques all web designers need to know. This technique is implementing media queries to make all the elements on a website rescale or resize to the different type of device a visitor might use. This week, you'll add media queries to make your website resize for mobile devices. There are 2 parts to this assignment. Part 1, add the required media query code for mobile display. Upload your website to your domain. All right. Please use the instructions. Okay, you're going to be using Dreamweaver. Open Dreamweaver, follow the live lecture instructions, how to link your files to manage sites. Open the index.html file, then open the CSS file. Add the media query for mobile devices. Follow the live lecture instructions as you add the code below, as adjustments might be needed. At media, minimum width 321 pixels and maximum width 768 pixels. Secondary header. So you're going to be adding all this stuff into there. All right. Now, because we're using the CSS file, all this is basically external CSS. Okay. Remember, there's 3 types of CSS. There's internal, external, and inline. Inline is very rarely used anymore. What it does is it'll make a change to one little small section of a page. And it's kind of like, sorry about that. And it's kind of like, I want to highlight this section of text. So you'll add a little CSS inline to do that. So it's just in that one line of code. External CSS is an external CSS file, and internal CSS is all up in the header. Okay. Now, the internal CSS only adjusts the page that it's in. It doesn't adjust all your pages. Where the external will work on all your pages. Test the code in Firefox or Internet Explorer. Save your HTML, CSS page, zip your folder, and submit it. Okay. So, we will be going over that. And then, zip the root folder, Pals for Life, name the zip folder this. and include URL in the comment section and submit the zip files. Next is the quiz. So the quiz, we will go over the stuff as we go. We're not going to intentionally say this is a quiz item, but we'll be going over it all. All right. So that tells us what we're doing. All right. So now let me go ahead and bring up Dreamweaver. So you've seen how to do it. Okay. We've discussed over last couple of weeks how to attach. All right. So for this program, this class, here they are. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to delete this, all right, because I've already got it there. So what we're going to do is come up here, manage sites, and delete. So just hit the delete. All right, now we're going to attach it one more time. So now we're going to new site. I'm going to call it PRG250 GA. We're going to attach it to the desktop. MOD8 250 project. There's the week 1, so we're going to use that. That's where I've made all my changes. So I'm just going to attach right back to it. All right, the advanced settings, default images folders right there. Make sure this follows through right, the structure, and choose, and save, and done. And there we have it. We're hooked back in. So that's how you hook into the site again. All right, now I'm going to show you guys a couple ways to do the CSS. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to open the index. All right, now you'll notice this is set up for one size of page, okay? So let's go back and bring up that Word document. And you know what? Let's make sure we're tied into the CSS, which we are. Okay. Let's double check that's the name of it. And the CSS here is multi-column template. There we go. So we have that. All right, now let's go back to the Word document. Okay, so you're going to be setting it up with this information. Now, any programmer will tell you, if it's written, use it, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of this. All right, and copy it. Now I'm going to go over. Notice I have my source code and my multiple template code. Well, we're going to go to the bottom here and Command V. Click here. Now notice minimum 321, maximum 768. So I just added that, and this is what it looks like. That's how you add it. Then you need to go File, Save All Related. All right. Then File, Save All. Now watch. We're going to take a look here. All right, so as you can see, we have our normal site here. Oh, it's a little off because, well, let's go back and take a look. There's something wrong. Or because I should be able to move that down without it squishing together, the text. This is why I prefer to use a percentage instead of a dead set amount of pixels, because now watch, if it was a percentage, as the screen shrinks, the space around those would shrink. So let's go take a look, see what we could do to make that work. All right, and in the process, I'm going to be showing you the secondary portion that works for this, okay? All right, so I said there. All right, now we're going to click back up. All right, so we'll go here and you'll see A. All right, now we're going to go to multi. This is all the ones that make it go down to that small, okay? The global. Okay, so CSS, all sources, what that does is, this is the main name of the file, the external link, okay? Global, what that does is it breaks it down so you can break down the screen sizes, and it will only it'll only adjust that section you type it in. All right? So that's all the stuff we just copied and pasted. It wasn't there before. And then the selectors, each one is the certain area. And the properties, well, that's where all this code comes in. Let's bring this back up. And what we're going to do is there's a couple ways. One thing you can do to see just the code that they've used, because you notice there's a lot of blank stuff here. Well, let's click on the show set. Now that shows just the coding that's been used. So we're going to go to .write_article. All right. So, and we're looking at the name here. All right. .write_article. And as you can see, width 100%, height auto, padding on the bottom is 25 pixels. That's it. That's all that was used for that whole thing. Okay? So that's how you can see. So I can sit here and put it all in over here, or I can sit here and put it in here, type it in over here. Either way works. All right, now that we've discussed that, what we're going to talk about is, well, why then, we're going to lower that, is this having an issue right here? So let's go back to the main, because that's on all the pages, all right? So we have our container, our row, header. We're looking for something. Well, easiest way, you know, I'm sitting here trying to go through this. Well, let's go back to the source code. And you'll notice menu secondary header. All right, so I'm looking for that over here. Secondary, header. Nope, not that one, because remember, menu secondary header. And you go down from body div dot container. So dot container dot secondary. No, it should be the menu. And this is the problem. If you don't make the code, then it takes longer to find it for you. Okay, so there's the container. Secondary header is what I'm looking for. Container.secondary header, secondary header. Okay, so we'll take a look, see what we have here. Width is 100%. Width, 16%. There we go, the UL down to the LI. All right, and notice there's 120 pixels here. So we're going to take some of that out. Notice how that's going back. There we go. And that's not really centered, if you'll look. And that's something, there's other ways to do this, but since this was how it was done, we're going to go ahead and stick with that, all right? Now, notice I clicked off of it, it went back. Well, what happened was I did not hit enter. All right, so we're going to go File, Save All Related Files, File, Save All. This is just a short, hey, this is everything in that area. So you could sit here and watch it, or as you know, like I said, you can go here and find it as well. Now, we're going to go find the same thing here and watch. There's the primary header, secondary header, the header, okay, so secondary header. Notice there's the 95 pixels right there. In 187. Oh, excuse me, 107. Okay, so that's how I changed it. And notice, watch, this is something really cool too. When I click on it over here, it goes to it here. All right, now, again, like I said, we've saved all. Now watch. And we'll bring up Firefox this time. And look. But it still has that issue where it goes down. Because there's still a spacing between them. And they're not centered so that they go in. And see? They're not totally set. Okay? So what that means is now I need to look at, go away. I need to look at the hover. Okay, there's the hover, the space between, and see how they slide over? Well, they were intentionally made to do that. There's the header. Now on the header, 50/50, width 100%. Well, watch now what we're going to do. I undo that, go to text. Now I center everything, but that didn't adjust anything there. Or did it? Well, let's take a look. File, save all related files, save all. Now, let's bring it up. Here's the way to see. Nope, it's still not liking that. And that's all because of all that code, all right? So I'm not going to get really picky on that one because this is all the code you were given. And that's just one of those aesthetics, okay? It's an aesthetic issue. So now we're going to take that out. So all I have to do is come here, click there, and it's back to normal. Everything is the way it was before. And notice there's a clear left. Let's take that out and watch and see what happens. File, save all related, save all. And I'm doing this so you can start to see what that little change will do. Okay, so that's still doing it. Nothing happened. So does that mean the code's wrong? No, it just means that there is something there that is not letting it go down. Okay, and this just over all the coding. And this is where I like to work my own coding rather than use other people's code. But show you something now that I have this, what I can do. So we're going to take that back to what it was. File, save all related, file, save all. All right, now remember this coding started at media, all right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Now I'm going to show you something. And this is how, as a programmer, you learn to start making your own code library. Container, there we go. So what I'm going to do is highlight from there down. I'm going to come over to code snippets and my code, come down here. All right, new snippet folder or new snippet right here. And I'm going to call this min 321 max 768. 768. All right. Notice that's there. Now I'm going to come back over to here. And we're going to go here. And delete. All right, so that takes us back to there. So watch, file, save all related files, file, save all. Now we're gonna run it again. Notice that's all gone again. So now we'll run this. Notice it does not affect it, doesn't do it, okay? Well, why did I do that? Well, watch this. Now I just go here, double click that, file, save all related, save all. Now watch. Google Chrome. And here we go. We're going to shrink down and look. There we go. So that, as you can see, you start making your own code library. You've adjusted for a mobile aspect. Now, what's missing here? We should actually make one more, because this what it is right now is set up for mobile. Let's set up a tablet. The tablet's 768 to 1200. All right. So what we're going to do, let's come back here. Let's see, let's go back to my code. All right, and back to here. All right, so now we're going to add one more. So let's add it. The minimum width is 769. Maximum is 1200. Maximum width, 1200. All right, so now if I go to here, see, there's a difference. There's 322, 768. Now I want to start adjusting this. All right, so next, what I want to do. Well, now, notice there's no selectors. Okay, so I'm going to take these and put them all down, all right? Where if I go to here, they don't move, okay? But here they do. So what I'm going to do is we're going to click on this secondary header menu. Let me see it. There we go, right there. Now, there is another way to do this. Under the DOM, our nav, secondary header, okay? So I double click. I'm not gonna go to the UL. We're gonna stop at that level right there, all right? So we add, and see, we just did that. Now watch, if I go to my DOM to another section. Let's go to the footer, all right? Now I go back to here, add, and see I just added my footer. So no matter what, that's an easy way to go to where you want, okay? And we have the drop downs, and right here, there we go, the secondary header menu. So we're gonna go back, and now we add it. All right, so the width, auto, well, let's see. What I want to do is I want all those to basically be on top of each other. So instead, I'm gonna put, now watch, if I put the clear here, nothing happens. And the reason, well, I need to go one lower, okay? I need to go all the way down to, let's go to the LI. Right, so let's add the LI. And if we do it, look, we just did that, all right? So we've now brought them down. Okay, so honestly, I didn't need that one, but I did it so I could show you why you need to go down further, okay? Now, it's way over here. Well, how do we center this? Well, now we need to go back. Well, here's the header section. Well, the nav and the menu. Oh, look, the menu is affected. So, let's add the menu again. Okay. Text. Center. Oh, nothing happened, so it wasn't there. So where would it be? All right, let's go back to just the secondary header to the nav. Notice it doesn't let us do that. If it's a point, you can't go to there. It'll go to the one after it. So let's go to the header. All right, so we're going to add the header, as you can see, and center. Well, nothing again. So that must not be enough back, is it? Well, this is where you have to be careful, because now if I go to that div and I add it, that's that whole area. See how I just now centered everything below it? That's not what I wanted. So you'll see, as you can see, basically it just went different areas. And then what that does, the reason, is because this is all set up to do that. So let's go back take a look. I'm going to none and left. See what happens with the left? It breaks them back down. Right? It does that. So we're going to clear that one out. And we're going to clear that out. By clearing that out, look what we just did. Now, if I clear that out, it does that automatic the same thing, okay? None of the clears are needed, as you can see. So left, right, none. Okay? So left, right, center, none. All right, so this is where you start playing with those. All right, so we're going to leave that because, well, there's not much difference. But we come down here and look. Now all these pictures are not fitting right. Or if I go wider, they still don't fit right, do they? This is where you'll go through and fix each picture. All right, so now you know how to do that. We're going to delete this one. I'm going to click here. Whoops. There we go. We're going to go to here and delete that. No needed. There we go. So now we only have this one. And watch. This is where the difference comes in. Here versus here. Just did it. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, this one was not totally set up right for that smaller screen. Well, that's because, well, there's your tablet. There's your smartphone. So it wasn't set up. Otherwise, all these photos and everything would fit. So this did down to the 321. Lower, you need to set up. But you've set up the smartphone because anything smaller than 321, and they probably won't be viewing it on the web. All right. All right. Now, what's the importance to this? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave it as is. In fact, I'm going to show you something really cool here. All right. Now, you'll notice the thumbnail. Thumbnail align. There we go. So we're going to take to that thumbnail. All right. The thumbnail align, thumbnail. Notice it's not there. Well, there's the thumbnail. Again. All right. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't align it here. But you'll notice the pixels here. Watch. Now I just gave it back to the square look. All right. So this is all the same thing, like I was saying. This is how you manipulate it to what you want. All right. So we're going to go File, Save All Related, and Save All. All right. So now we're back to that section we added. There are ways to test that. Now we come down here. You can add, or see this code, you could pull it up and take a screen, use that on your smartphone, and it'll test it. Okay. Now, I could also go down here and look at all these choices. This is what it's set up for. I can go landscape. Now, notice this. Let's take a look. Oh, there's no alt. All right, let's go to line 60. Facebook. Oh, that's the Facebook PNG, right? So that would be this one. Yep, that's line 60. There's no alt tag. Well, that's going to mess us up. So make sure to add your alt tags for all your graphics again. So we'll come down here. What do we do? How do we do that? Well, there's a couple ways I can do this. Go to Properties, Alt Tag, Facebook, Logo. All right, now we're going to File, Save All. Now watch. We click on that again. Well, now 60 is gone, so I only have 3 errors. So that takes us to Twitter. Do the same thing. We're going to go back to Properties, PWI Twitter, Logo, Twitter, link, Pinterest, same thing. And here, Pinterest, logo. There we go. Pinterest link. And YouTube. Link. Stay consistent. All right, now we're going to go File, Save All. Notice, but this only affects this one page. Remember that. All right. Oh, look, now my check's good. I have no errors. Okay, so make sure, because adding those helps the search engine. Remember, we discussed this in week 1. All the tags. The more that you're compliant with W3C, the more chances you are of your site being hit as well as left up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run that. And I can edit my list here and look what I can add, okay? Google Chrome, Safari. Oh, guess what? I'm going to add, oh, we're going to go to my computer, browse. And as you can see, let's go down. I have Opera. So I'm going to add Opera. Okay, Opera. Okay, and apply. Close. Now I go over here and there's Opera. So I'll click it. And I just opened it in Opera to look at it. And watch. Same thing. It works on Opera. All right. So that's how you edit this one. Now, if I didn't like that, I just edit list. Well, I don't want Opera now. And I hit the subtract button. This is W3C of the type of HTML we're using. Errors, warnings. Let's manage it. No, there's nothing there, so we don't have to worry about that. And CSS styles. Okay, so use shorthand for them. Some of these are acceptable, some are not. Well, they're acceptable here, but they're not always acceptable in the web browsers, all right? That's the thing you have to remember. All right, so we're going to apply. and close. So, as you can see, we didn't really change much here. We just added Opera. All right, now the whys. It used to be that you wanted a web browser to open a mobile site. It would be M period site name. For example, Loki Designs would be M period Loki-designs.com. But now that's because you had to create a secondary page for the mobile idea. Google Analytics is like, no, we don't like that. We want it all to be the same. And the reason, that's what clients are looking for, customers, potential customers. So we've gotten away from that. And now we do the coding in the CSS, as you just saw. And now the good thing, let's go back and we're going to run that. Because I did not do it internal, I did external CSS. No matter what page I'm on. Now you see this one? Those images didn't do what they should have done. All right, well, we're going to fix that. All right, so let's go back to here. Scroll down, and as you can see, well, those are all right. Oh, this is the index. Well, let's bring up the adopt. Look at how they're all overlapped. And this is where that works, okay? This is where you make your CSS, get rid of that. We go to here and see what I was saying about that. Now, how do we fix that? Thumbnail adopt. All right, let's go to CSS. We want thumbnail adopt. And notice that it's not there. So we're going to add it. All right, now, before we do that, there's a thumbnail align to look at, all right? And let's look at that thumbnail align. The only thing is everything's centered. If I take that off, nothing happens here. All right? Nothing really does happen. But now, if I do the thumbnail align, well, let's do width. We're going to go 25% here. Notice, nothing happened, right? That's because I'm only working on this thumbnail section. So let's work on the image itself. To do that, I need to go one more down. The thumbnail adopt. Okay, so we add it. All right, now, watch this. 25%. Oh, look, now it's down. Then that's way too much. And there we go. The width, 100% of the section. See how that now fits? And I go down to here, and it fits that. The only time it won't is now we'll go out. You see? Now we'll need to add that elsewhere. But that's how you adjust that and make it look good. So if you guys would like, please go in and make some of those adjustments to make it look better. The more professional that you hand this in, the more you're getting practice, and the more I can see that you're actually starting to catch on to the theories here. The ideas, not the theories, the ideas. All right, so we're going to go File, Save All Related Files, Save All, and we're going to go look at this at Google Chrome. Now see, at the higher ones, those all come together, but we go smaller, and they don't. All right, so let's go back and add this. All right, now we're going to go back and add it. Well, let's go back to here. Click the pictures, thumbnail it up. Well, we're going to add one. The minimum width, 769. Oops, if I go there. And the maximum is 1200. All right, now I want to adjust those. So we come to here, add it. And the width, 100%. Notice nothing happened because, well, we haven't set anything else up. All right, so before we do that, let's go back to thumbnail align. And see how that's not totally aligned and set up right? So you have to do it like a building block. It's like you're building a wall. Start at the bottom and work your way up. Nothing solid if it's off balance from the things above it. So to make something like that one work, you're going to have to actually go back many different areas. Okay? Because there are tons of things that have been changed in here. Okay, so now you're seeing how to make that adjustment. We'll go over that again tomorrow. All right, but let's take a look here. Let's see if we could find some mobile sites. All right, so as we look here, the mobile site, once it hit a certain size, it would actually redirect it to a different web page. Like I said, m.index for mobile. Now you can see with all the CSS, you no longer have to do that because it was causing a lot of different issues. One, well, by doing that, you had to create more pages. You had to double your work. Now you just rearrange your work using CSS. Two, it took up more space on your server. For every page that you want to have an equal amount of property, you'd have to use more space, right? So the older way, yeah, it may have been good, but it wasn't as efficient. Now we're more efficient, right? All right, let's see if I can pull up a mobile site. Mobile-friendly websites. Well, let's see. No, this one's now telling you how to set them up. So anymore, rather than make that adjustment once it's up, we just play with the CSS as you saw. And by playing with that CSS, I was able to control it. So be very leery when you start looking at these, okay? Oh, look, a mobile website builder in Weebly. Weebly will allow you to do this. But I hate how Weebly doesn't allow you to have full control over your site. That's why I have my own server, all right? Now, I'm going to mention that Muse has some also options, but with Muse going away next year, I believe, or the year after, they're no longer doing updates for it. All right. I think, let's go back. Okay, discuss why a web designer needs to design with websites with mobile first in mind. Mobile first. So in other words, when you start designing your website, you're going to design it already thinking about the mobile site portion of it. If you don't, what's going to happen? You're going to finish the website. Then you're going to have to sit there and waste a lot of time. Okay, how am I going to make this all fit to mobile? So if you do and take your UX and your UI and work it at the same time, as you're going through this, you're going to eliminate so much unneeded work. Mobile first basically means you're thinking about it as you're designing the main site, okay? Implement media queries to adjust the website's display. We did that. Identify commonly used CSS tags. And identify commonly used CSS tags. All those commonly used CSS tags at media, dot container, dot secondary, the header, and the tags. These are the tags, okay? So we have float, margin, the width, the padding bottom, the height, width. And if I change these, I'm changing those link colors, okay? All right, so again, we've gone over why a web designer needs to design with a website with mobile first in mind. Implement the media queries, we did that, and identify commonly used CSS tags. All right, now we're going to go on to the assignment once again. All right, add the required media query for mobile display. Now I've demonstrated how to add it as well as how to play with it. Okay, yeah, we did everything there. Upload your website to your domain. All right, let's see. Please use week 3, the directions. Zip the folder. All right, now let me go back with this in mind. All right, let's go take a look at my website. So we can close that. All right, here's my website. Notice up here, I've already got my things here. Now I'm going to adjust this to 1200 instead of 1000 because most screens are now up to 1200. Okay. So I'm going to go back and make that adjustment here. All right. So I'm going to go to here, bring that up. Maximum width is now 1200. And look how that adjusted that. Smaller, smaller. All right, so we just added that. We updated that. We have all these tags. So I've got the 3 widths here, okay? So if you could do even for a smart tablet, that adds even more chances of it being found within the Google Analytics, right? So take advantage of it. Play with that a little before you submit your work. See what you can come up with, all right? Now, some people don't put the minimum, as you can tell here. As long as it's working, I'm not going to ding you, whichever route you choose on that, all right? Okay, so here's my home page. Save it. Portfolio, right now it's empty because I'm still building this page, rebuilding. Services, still rebuilding. All right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end the class for today. If you guys have any questions, please contact me. And like I said, take advantage of that. Play with the, you have your desktop, your smart tablets, and your smartphones, the mobile. So play with all the mobile devices by adding in the tablet size, right? So I look forward to talking with you guys, and I'll see your work this week. Please let me know if you need any help. Thank you, and have a good day.